Okay, I just spoke to a suffering mother who has a son who is 25 and dropped out of law school and just all day long smoking dope. So the mother is devastated and think that this boy is going to basically self-destruct and it's not going to go anywhere. Now, I do not agree. If you are a mother who has a daughter or a son who are indulging in drugs and rock and rolls and sex and dramas or whatever it is, um, and you're very anxious and you end up having a very bad relationship with them because you criticize them, you judge them out of concern, out of love. If you are one of those parents, I want you to just calm down because you're pushing them, your worry and your fear of the fact that they're going to destroy themselves is a curse. You are actually sending out very negative vibrations to their quantum field. Your fear is pushing them away further from you. Your condemnation, your judgment, your anger towards them, you calling their name, saying that how ungrateful they are and how they're not going to make it in life and how they are good for nothing and all of that kind of stuff, is going to push them to the darker place again. Just remember, not all wonders are lost. Your kids might be just looking for some place where they feel safe, that they have no worries, because you do not make them feel safe, because your conflict with yourself has been traumatizing them. Your conflict with your partner, with your husband or wife or ex-wives or your own parents are actually traumatizing them. You have been confusing them. You have not provided a safe environment for them to speak to you. You have not provided them with a safe environment for them to speak to you because on the back of your mind, you continuously judge them. You do not even allow them to finish a sentence without telling them what to do. Just remember, your children are actually giving you the second chance to be young again. Do not sit on a chair as a 60-year-old person or 50-year-old person or 70-year-old person and condemn the youth. If you really want to understand them, the only way you can do it is through love, is through acceptance. No matter what they do, no matter what they are, no matter how they behave, the only way you can communicate with them is not through judgment. You should have known that already. The only way to communicate with them is through acceptance, is through safety. They must calm down. They must feel the safety of your presence. You must drop your expectation of how they should be different. They can't be different. If they are pumpkin, you can't turn them into a tomato. If they are an asparagus, you can't turn the asparagus into a cucumber. You must give them the dignity to be who they are. They don't belong to you either. They have a soul contract with you. They come here to evolve their soul. You have a soul contract with them. They have come here to help you evolve as a soul. Try not to forget that. That is your true identity. Soul to soul, love to love, heart to heart, not ego to ego. Ego to ego is basically bullshit to bullshit. You'll be cooking in a trauma soup for eternity if you do that. That's not what we are here for. We are here to assist the evolution of each other's soul. And the only way we can do that is through accepting and loving each other. What does it mean? What does it mean to love? Do you think loving the lovable is a virtue? No. Loving the lovable is common sense. If you don't love the person who is very lovable, you're an asshole. But loving the unlovable, it's love. And that requires you to use your humility, to put down your pride, to ask the ego to step aside, to put down your judgment, to put down your righteousness, and look that person in their heart. Do you love that person enough to allow that person the dignity to be who they want to be? If your child is a fish and you expect the fish to climb the mountain and go to the top of the Mount Everest, and plenty of parents do that. If you do that to their child, what do you think you're doing? You are committing the crime against humanity. You are disallowing a human being its own freedom, its own free will. Even God cannot interfere with that person's free will. Who do you think you are? Do you think if you're a parent, you own your child? You don't. Your child is a divine entity. Your child, just like you, is a spark of God's consciousness. Do not reduce them into anything, into a figure, a number. Do not reduce them as something to fulfill your broken dream. Do not degrade them to be something that give you a good-looking appearances. Oh, look at my child. Look at my child's award. No, they're not your commodity. Do not reduce them to a thing to play power games with your ex. Because when you do that, they know. You hurt them. Because you violate them. Because you're telling them you're not divine. You're telling them you are just something, a chess piece for me to play this game in life. Just remember how you feel when your parents did that to you. Please stop allowing your ancestral trauma to be passed on to your next generation. There's no excuses for you not to wake up to the fact that you have this responsibility. You're not living in the dark ages anymore. You are living in an age, and in an age that all knowledge are widely available. You said you love your child, then love. Love has nothing to do with judgment. If you are condemning your child and then tell your child you love them, what do you think your child will think and feel? You traumatize them even further. Now they are very confused. Is there any wonder they run to a reality where none of this exists? Only them and God exist. Is there any wonder they want to run away from you and go and smoke dope and use all kinds of shit to get them to connect to a place of euphoria, to a delusional reality where there's no worries and there's no concern? But guess what? In that place, even though they have temporary pleasure, they cannot have love. They cannot have security. They cannot have a place where they belong. You are the place they want to belong. Your heart is what they want. Your love is what they crave. You are their answer. So don't send them to rehabilitation centers and send them to psychologists and send them to somebody else. You are responsible for their loss. You are responsible for their pain. You, as the parents, you are responsible. So please, give yourself this power. Give yourself this dignity. Give yourself this responsibility to self-reflect, to come back to your center and ask yourself this question: do I love my son enough to accept him? Do I love my daughter enough to accept her? Because if you don't accept them, there's no love. The first quality of love is acceptance. You accept them for who they are, not for what you want them to be. So, this is a very serious topic, and I want you to really contemplate that. It's tough love from me, but I wouldn't do it any other way, because it won't wake you. Until next time, bye for now. Sending you love.